Several additional arrest warrants from all towns are pending for all 4 individuals. At this time, I'm going to turn the podium over to Detective Sergeant Robert Waller Jr. from the New Haven Police Department and Detective Chris Chiarelli from the Orange Police Department, who helps to coordinate this investigation.
Our investigation showed that they were selling it basically on the street individually, and sometimes in bulk to wireless stores that over the course of investigation, we believe the numbers close to 400 cell phones.
Are these suspects the ones responsible for all of these robberies? Like, are they going to eventually be charged? I know we said additional charges, but they're the 3 or 4 that are responsible for all of them?
Yeah, we believe the crew is as big as 5 or 6 people. There's 1 or 2 people participating in just 1 or 2 robberies. But this main core of 4 is responsible for the bulk of them. There should be arrest warrants coming down for them, for the other agencies involved, for their specific leadership. There was a combination of all the robberies, witness statement, video surveillance, some tips from witnesses who called in anonymously that led to the ratings in the investigation. Several search warrants executions last week. Those led to some evidence and some corroborating information, which we were able to run with. We have recovered weapons. In 5 of them, victims, employees of the stores reported seeing handguns involved. The other ones, we believe they did have handguns, but they're not shown. Most of the robberies took place just before closing time. Once we realized it was a pattern, most departments put controls out on the Radio Shacks around closing time. This particular investigation was pretty smooth. Everybody set aside their egos and worked as a team to accomplish what we needed to accomplish. Get this ring under arrest and custody. That is the case in a lot of investigations, but this one, everybody did their part and worked as a team. In all the robberies, there was a getaway car. One of the cars in, I believe, 2 or 3 of the robberies actually belonged to Michael Carbonell, who was arrested in New Haven. And then in the other robberies, they were borrowing different cars for the robberies. In almost all the robberies, they use something to cover the license plate, either a piece of cardboard or a plastic bag. There was only 2 that they actually were duct taped up from the Radio Shack and the license store.
Were they put in the back?
Yes, and all the robberies, the employees were brought in the back so they can open up the security cage where the phones were stored. Most of them had a record, but as of right now, we have no other indications that they're connected to any other crimes in the greater New Haven area. A lot of times they'll tell us things they don't think is important, but end up being a big part of the investigation. So, anytime the public sees anything they think is suspicious, they should call law enforcement for us.
I've spent a lot more time patrolling this area. We had an attempted robbery that occurred, and then several evenings later we had an actual robbery. And our the attempt in Orange was on April 29th, and then the robbery in Orange was sharing information, putting egos aside, working together, sharing the information with each other, and working together. That's what's key. Coordination, cooperation. That's what it had to take place somewhere, and our department worked very closely. Detective Chris Chiarelli and Detective Sergeant Robert Waller Jr. Those were the 2 guys that were really coordinating this, working very hard on it, diligently on it. Ultimately, 2 of the first arrests that we made were arrests in Orange, and then arrests took place in Oakland. So being the first agency to make arrests, as well as our detective coordinating along with Sergeant Waller, we decided amongst ourselves that this would be beneficial for this case.
Do you think who arrested you?
They were arrested in Pittsburgh for the orange case. It's safe to shop at Radio Shack, so you shouldn't be concerned about that. We do have one individual that still needs to be taken into custody, but we're pretty confident that we'll have the it's absolutely safe.
Hopefully we had many different agencies bringing many skills and talents as detectives together, and it allows us to take advantage of certain resources that each agency and each individual detective can bring to the table. So combining all that into one investigation really helped us move forward quickly once some preliminary information was developed to point us in the right direction.
Did you ever think that one of the employees might be involved?
Initially, you have to look at all avenues and all parties involved, but we were able to rule that out fairly quickly once we saw the multiple Radio Shacks in different areas, the same crime occurring at each one.
Okay, so you still have one guy out in the loose, huh?
That's correct.
And give yourself a timeline. How long do you think before you find him?
We hope very quickly, but don't want to set a timeline right now.